think entrepreneurs tend to be charismatic and strong leaders.
Yeah.
And what tends to happen is that they can learn fast and fail fast. But they stop their teams from learning fast and failing fast.
Yeah.
Now, which is where I think that whole concept of how do you allow your own personality or charisma or the ability that you carry to not stop people below you.
Yeah.
I think that I'm struggling with, frankly.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because, you go out there and you do a certain client acquisition and someone in your team is with you. He's seen you do it in a certain way. But then after that, he's petrified of failing.
Yeah. Yeah.
Which you don't want that to happen.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right? So I think it comes back to the entrepreneur to change the way he is doing or she is doing it.
Correct.
To allow the people to, fail fast and learn fast. I am not sure I have answer for that.
Yeah.
There would be experimentative learning culture. Client is the reason why we exist. So the culture would be about responding to a client, right? I think there would be the culture of saying that there is no hierarchy. And so I could go out and, say that there's a better way of doing it, right? At the same time, I think there would be the fear of saying that the promoters have a certain vision. Can I meet up to it? So certain fear, a certain concern that am I able to meet those aspirations. Possibly a negative culture of a few supermen solving problems, which we should all guard against, because that tends to happen, that we become supermen or women and we go in and dive in and solve problems. So the combination of learning, experimentation allowed hai, hierarchy nahi hai, but I've got a few leaders who are successful. Can I be as successful? I'm a little fearful. So I think it's a mixture of that, if I was to articulate it. So I think, for example, some parts are very much by design. So we came from big companies, but we were convinced that we'll have an open plan office.
Sure.
So me and Swami sit out,
Yeah.
right? We didn't want, if I sit out and there are three people sitting next to us, if I go and talk to them, I didn't want them to get up.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. So so we kept talking about this. A lot of it is actually by design,
Sure.
right? We didn't want people to call us sir. We wanted to be, called by name, because also if we have to deal and work with young people, young people aren't going to call you sir.
Correct.
Or if they call you sir, they'll curse you behind, right? So some of it is by design.
Yeah.
Some of it is the learning. I think the aspects of allowing people to experiment and fail is not by design. It's something which we are learning. Because when we started this company, we were so paranoid about failure.
Yeah.
Because there are our personal reputations.
Yeah.
Right? If Cequity failed, Swami and Ajay failed. We couldn't let that happen.
Yes.
Right? Now we are telling ourselves that if some parts of Cequity fail, it's not as if we as individuals have failed. Someone on our team has failed and we've learned. That's why I said, but why this has stayed with me is that I think it starts with small things.
Yeah. Yeah.
I always believe that people tend to think that, suddenly Google became customer centric. No, yeah. Google only obsessed about customer from day one.
Yeah.
Any customer oriented company is obsessed about customer from the top and therefore all the way down. Is that if you can create degrees of freedom of independence for operating staff with the eye on the P&L, because obviously you need to have that eye, but create a degree of freedom where he can take calls, she can take calls, and you encourage that in a way which is business oriented, you will find a lot of benefit. So equivalent of saying that store manager can approve gift voucher redeem if it is expired, even if it is expired, you think it's a good customer, no? Approve. Go down to these three things: process, structure, and incentive. Unless these three get attacked, you will not find a solution for a big organization. Finally, even if you take a small young company, if you look at these things, it needs both leadership by example and touching upon these three. What is about a process has changed? What have you incentivized people for? And how is your structure? I think finally it boils down to that. I find that sometimes it's about perspective. People don't carry the same perspective down the line. And then how much are we able to articulate that perspective of a customer? Look at the businesses like Google. What have they done? They've said, my customer will not pay me money. Can it get worse than that? Right? They built a model called the freemium model. Right? Which is your basic service is free. But around that I keep locking you in and you are the target for other people who pay to reach you. So because Google has millions and billions of customers, advertisers put money to find you. So then your business model, so either your segment sizing you need to examine or your business model you need to examine.